Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter podcast. I am Joey Cates.
My name is Jared Seymour.
All right, I want to see. I've been sitting on that one for a long time, man. I didn't know if he was going to trip you up or not. You caught it. Good deal. All right. In the studio today, we have Brooke. Brooke comes to us from Real Life Customer Service Strategies. And we're going to talk today on the episode all about customer service, how important it is for businesses. I know we have a lot of local businesses that watch the show from time to time, and I think it's an extremely important topic. So I think you're going to give us some good information today. You've got a long history in the game, so super excited to talk to you about that. But first, before we get into that, we're going to mention the sponsors here, the people that keep the lights on for us. And right out the gate, you've heard us mention him before. We're going to keep talking about him. Southern Magnolia Smiles, Dr. Robbie Williams. He's located right here in Ocean Springs on Washington Avenue. If you're looking for a great local dentist, man, he's your guy. Go check him out. They're on, if you want to see him before you go visit them, they're on all the social platforms, Instagram, Facebook. Just look them up at Southern Magnolia Smiles. If you're a traditionalist and you want to look them up on the interwebs without the social medias, go to www.southernmagnoliasmiles.com or hit them up on the landline at 228-215-1202 and tell them that we sent you. Tell them that you heard about him on Brown Water Banter, man. It helps us out and it helps you out because you're going to get a great dentist. Moving right along here, we've got Hill Tree Marketing, Jesse Hill. We've mentioned him for a few times now. We're going to stick with him. He's working with us and we're going to work with him. If you're looking for somebody that's going to do great website and graphic design, social media stuff, they have IT services built into their company, videography, photography, and aerial cinematography. So if you're a local business or even an individual who needs a website designed, they can do it for you and they are local. Okay. And speaking of that, we've been waiting to announce it. We've mentioned it a few times before. Our website has been redone by Jesse. He's not only a sponsor, we're also a client. I think is how you say that. Yeah. And we're going to flash that on the screen real quick here, because we're super pumped about how it turned out and we're really proud of it, man. So I'm going to add this to the screen. That's it. That's our new website, man.
Good looking guys.
Jesse did all that. I know I'm looking like a goober on that picture right there, but that's just my face. Jesse did this for us. He got it all redone, man. The podcast link is here. Our contact info, about section, gives you a little brief history on Joey and myself, and all the episodes right here, straight to our YouTube channel. You can check it out. And down here at the bottom is the merchandise tab. So if you want to join that Pelican gang,
look at them tanks, bro.
That's how you do it. Yeah, Joey's got the new tanks up on there too as well. That's pretty cool. So we're super proud of that. If you want to go check it out more for yourself, jump over to brownwaterbanter.com and you can see that. Next one we're going to talk about June 6th, which is this Sunday, downtown Ocean Springs. Trevor Reed, man, he's rolling off the crawfish cook-off, which was last weekend. It was a great event. Turnout was amazing. That's right. This Sunday, he's doing a pub crawl, okay? So let's see what we got. He's featuring the $1,000 in cash prizes.
The Clydesdales will be there.
The Clydesdales are going to be there. If you don't know what a pub crawl is, I don't really know what to tell you, right? You go from place to place, you pick up some kind of token.
Well, this one's they got punch cards. It's not like you usually pick up a ace through whatever. Yeah. This is a little different. You punch cards and then you turn it in and they're just going to pick a random card to win all the prize. Yeah.
Awesome. And let's see, you go to downtownoceansprings.com and you can enter right now. So that's pretty badass too. So if you're looking for something to do Sunday, that's pretty cool. I recommend that.
Yep.
And then we have another sponsor that came on board with us, a guy we've known for a very long time, Josh here. Let's see, at Faithful to the End LLC. They are a lawn business, right?
Yep.
And he did a little write-up for us, so I'm going to read it off to you. They're a family-owned and operated company. They offer power washing and lawn service, and they are dedicated to treating their customers as good as their mamas. So that's a fitting sponsor to come on here.
It's a great sponsor.
It fits the topic of the show today. It's the first episode that he's been on here as a sponsor, so I think that was pretty cool. Let's see here. He said, your home is your biggest investment. Why not keep it clean? You can hit them up. And he says, anyone who mentions Brown Water Banter during their free quote, which you can get. So just hit them up on Facebook. They'll do a free quote. They can even do it virtually, he said.
And this isn't like something that you get from Lowe's. This is the real deal power wash. And it's a whole different story from your regular
Correct.
Spray wash.
Correct. So like I said, they can do virtual quotes in minutes. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And anyone who gets a virtual quote and mentions Brown Water Banter, Josh is guaranteeing that they will be there and get the job done within 10 days or it's on them. So
you're actually losing money not calling.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Go check them out. That's Faithful to the End. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Josh, thanks for coming on board with us this month. We appreciate it. All right, so let's jump into all things customer service.
Yes.
So Brooke, how are you today?
I am great. I'm super glad to be here, actually.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah. Brooke reached out to us and said she's been in the customer service business for a very long time. And you think it's something that needs some attention placed on it
a little
here?
Tweaking.
Most businesses maybe ignore it or don't put the emphasis on it as they should. Am I saying that right?
Well, it's not that they ignore it. It's that they haven't done the research. They haven't been involved in the expansion that is customer service. So small businesses, they don't have that access that, like a Fortune 500 would. And so they're still laboring under be nice, give them the pickle, give them something for free, smile.
Correct.
All these things are good. It's a great foundation, but it's not enough. And customer service is like kudzu. It's everywhere and you ain't getting rid of it. So you just have to embrace it.
That's right. That's right. It's not something you can easily ignore.
No, every day you deal with people. Well, tell us while you're in the hot seat. Tell us a little bit about your background and why you're here today.
In the hot seat. I like that.
It's a great little seat.
Yeah.
So I've been in customer service for 25 years. I know I don't look at Clinique and staying out of the sun. I got accused of lying on a different podcast.
Okay. No, we're not like that here.
Yeah.
So, but
unless we think you're lying, then we will.
well, I mean, I got a driver's license.
Okay.
So, I started out in the world watching my mama. Like she did this. And then, you go to work with your mama. I was probably the only 5-year-old who knew what an end cap was. So it just kind of was natural for me to gravitate toward customer service type jobs as I, went to college and did all the things. So I've had all kinds of customer service jobs. I have been a waitress. I have been a clerk. I have done all sorts of things. But my crowning glory was working for a Fortune 500 tech company where I helped train and create their customer service. So now I take what I did there and bring it to small businesses who don't have access to that kind of stuff. It levels up their customer service. They have incredibly loyal customers because of their customer service. And loyal customers mean money.
That's right.
They keep coming back.
That's right. So let's define customer service because it's kind of a blanket term, right? You just said that businesses think that it's just to be nice to the customer or give them what they want. What more than that is customer service? So
right now, and a lot of people are hearing it. If you're in the Facebook groups for business, you're hearing customer experience. Is that? Better not be me.
That's okay. We've had phones go off on this show before. It's not a problem whatsoever.
It's all good.
It's an internet show.
Yeah,
it's an internet show.
My husband's at home with my toddler. I need to cut this off.
Cut it off. Cut it off quick.
No. Oh no.
No, he's actually really great with him. He really is.
Yeah.
So customer service is actually every interaction that you have with your customer, be it on the phone, in person, email, text messaging. It literally is every single tiny thing you do with your customer. Customer experience is whether you walk in and it smells like lavender or vanilla. Okay. That's customer experience. Customer service is really what makes or breaks whether a customer will come back to you.
100%.
Like you can have the best product on the planet. Okay. We can all agree that there are some better internet providers around here than others.
Yes.
Right? But if you call them with a problem, you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot.
That's right.
Because you're going to have to yell at people.
If you even get to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Usually sit on hold for hours upon hours.
And even pre-COVID, it feels like everything was starting to become outsourced and kind of shipped, not at your local office for whatever business we might
automated. Now it's all automated.
Correct. And some of that's good, but I think most of that's bad, right?
Automation is great for the business. It lets them deal with multiple customers at a time. They're able to handle smaller issues quickly. It is not so good when the issue's not small and you actually need a human being.
Right.
So there's good and bad on both sides of it. And I would never tell somebody not to automate, because sometimes I'm a solo chick. I do all this myself. It can be a lot some days, and I would kill for, someone else to answer questions, but they can't because they aren't in my brain.
Yeah, I've had two different experiences with automation and customer service. One good, one bad.
It drives me nuts.
One of the companies that Joey and I work with this podcast for our merchandise stuff, it's very simple. If you have a question or an issue, I know one time I entered some stuff in on an order that we did. All I had to do was jump on their website, hit the little chat tab in the corner. I shot them a message. Somebody instantly responded back to me, and it was bang, bang, bang. We got it all figured out, and I was like, wow, that's way better than making a phone call. That's way better than waiting on hold or hitting 5, then hitting 4, and then the extension.
It's like a text message.
It was super quick.
Done.
Now, another company whose name I won't mention, it was PayPal, that my PayPal got hacked, and they want you, I couldn't log in. So everything in their automation prompts you to log in, to do this, log in to do that. They only have one little area where you can click, I can't log in. Then they want you to reset the password. And it's like, I don't have access to it right now. I went through this 15, 20 times to the point where I was ready to delete my PayPal and never use it again. And I got so fed up that I actually went on Twitter and I tagged them. I said, absolute terrible customer experience. I can't, I was like, way to go, at PayPal, tagged them. I'm done, or something like that. And after calling them and not getting any response, and trying to go through the proper automated channels, and nothing worked, they sent me a direct message on Instagram and they had it fixed within like 15 minutes.
You would be amazed.
I couldn't believe it.
People will do anything to keep a negative review from happening. That's why Karen exists.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay. In my world, there's no Karen. It's called Richard. Because that's most of our experiences. It's usually a guy who gets super fed up and then explodes all over you. So we created that. We taught people if they complain enough, they'll get something for free.
The squeaky wheel.
And then you give them something for free. So then they come back. You feed a seagull a French fry. What happens?
Yeah.
Comes back with his buddies.
And it brings its friends,
right,
because it tells us, if you just make a stink, they'll give you a bigger cup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we train them to do this. So what I actually do is I help businesses learn to de-escalate that stuff before it comes to the point of giving things away. So one of the things I tell people do is to stop using the word problem. And just go with me on this. This might be a little long-winded. Mm-hmm. Y'all are on the phone with your lovely wives and they say, "Ooh, I just lacerated my finger cutting a tomato. What are you going to do?" You are flying home like your butt's on fire, and you walk in the house and they wave at you with a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? You're in the medical field. Lacerate just means a bleeding cut.
Right. Correct.
Right. So problem in customer service land is lacerate.
Right.
If you say
vague.
If you say I have a problem, people go, it is a problem. It's so awful. It just spins up in their head.
Right.
But if you use the word issue, I'm going to help you with this issue. I know it's important. It would be super important to me. Mm-hmm. They go, oh, well, yeah, I guess it isn't. And that automatically, it's a nice neutral word that doesn't trigger anything. I don't know how many people out there do NLP, but it's neural language and how it all works in your brain. There are specific things that you can say that will cause something in your brain to just go park, and they have to think about it.
Right.
An issue is one of the words that makes your brain stop. You can't help it. You have to be super non-neurotypical for this not to work.
Okay.
And it's brilliant. So if you just swap the word problem for issue, you will be amazed how calm it makes people. Now, there's always those outliers who are just going to be butt heads because they can.
Right.
But on the whole, it starts to build a better rapport. Like it immediately makes them think, well, is this really that big a deal?
Right.
And then they start to calm themselves down before you jump in with empathy and all those other things that I teach.
So just the verbiage itself speaks for itself, right?
Right.
That's awesome.
Do you, if a small business comes to you, what does this look like? So I run, business XYZ here locally. I call you up and I say, yeah, I think I need to improve my customer service. What do you do? Do you kind of look under the hood first and see where I'm at? And then once you figure out the problems, are you like helping me build out stuff on my website? Are we dealing with like, are you helping me get employees to answer phone calls or return? Or like, are you building out the system for me internally? How does this work?
So you come to me.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a look at what's going on. Sometimes I'll have you set up your laptop and just turn your camera on and I'll mute myself and I'll just like lurk like I did with the cop that bought the donut shop.
Do you do the secret shopper kind of thing where you call up and walk in?
I have for some groups, just because it gives me a taste of what's going on.
Right.
And then I talk to you about what your actual goals are and where you've been and what you've taught your employees. Most businesses don't realize that their management and employees are their first customer.
Okay.
And if you treat them like they're your first customer, then your managers will treat your employees like the first customer. And then your employees are happy and they stay. So right now we're all in this big freak out because we can't. Nobody wants to go to work. Nobody wants to be hired.
Right.
Everybody's like, I will just hire anybody that applies. Don't come for me, y'all. But don't do that. Don't do that. Now is the time to be picky. Now is the time to really look at those resumes and say, does this person actually fit with my business? Does this person want to be here? Look at your past employees. If they want to come back, now is not the time to hire back Carlos, who caused $400 worth of free food because he couldn't, write down an order correctly. Right. Now is the time to get picky because you can.
And we kind of mentioned this before, but you're saying this even in the midst of people having trouble opening the business because there's no people willing to work right now or not applying for jobs.
So here's the thing. If you open a business with somebody who's already not engaged, they don't want to be there. You're trying to train them the way you want them to be. Like you want them to answer the phone. Thanks for calling Brownwater Banter. My name is Brooke. I'm happy to help. What can I do today? And they're just like, hi, thanks for calling Brownwater Banter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much damage are they doing to your brand, your company, your bottom line while you're waiting for this angel to show up?
Right.
Now, okay, if you really have to pay your mortgage and like things are really, really terrible, I'm not going to stop you from hiring.
Right. Because you got to get the doors open.
Just call me.
Right.
Just call me and I'll do what I can to get them engaged.
Yes. So going back though, so you look under the hood, you figure out where the problems are. And then is this like a, almost like a consultant with how you should act, or is there
so
nuts and bolts
training?
Okay.
I actually do training. So we talk about what you want.
Okay.
And then I go back and I build out a training system. So we start with the basics. What is empathy? What is customer service? The basics. And then it's specific to your business as we go from there. And I help you build, most people don't realize they need a customer service policy. If you don't tell your employees what they're allowed to do, right, then they just stand there. How many times have you been at McDonald's and has said, hey, I didn't want this? And they go,
I don't know what else to do.
Right.
So they just give you another sandwich, right? That's not customer service. If you give your employees a policy to stand on, then they're confident. Then they know, okay,
if this happens, do that. If that happens, do this kind of a thing.
Yeah, but it's not even as specific as like a tree.
Right.
It's your customers come in, their fries are cold. You don't have to go get a manager to give them new French fries. You can just
handle it yourself.
Go get them French fries. Or someone calls, they've been billed incorrectly. You don't have to freak out and go, oh, do I get this manager? You know who to get. You know what the next steps are. But building those policies and those core issues, even for a startup, is going to give you such a foundation that when things like COVID hit and things go completely and utterly bonkers, when you come back, it's still there. It didn't go away. And I train that, and I build training sessions. So say you bought my basic package, you get 4 training videos that you get to keep for forever. I come in and I do live trainings in your workplace or over Zoom or wherever we're comfortable. And then they get worksheets. I can make tests. I'm currently testing. I have a client. He bought a donut shop. He's a police officer.
Nice.
He couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So yeah, I thought that was really funny too. It's his dream job. He owns it with his daughter. Didn't change the staff at all. Could not figure out why this donut shop was not making money.
Right.
Set up the computer. I watched him and I was like, darling, you're being a cop.
Right.
I'm like, you can't yell at them.
To his employees or to the customers?
You want the donut?
Everybody. People would come in and loiter and he would just
stare.
So I was like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then I had to teach him how to talk to his management. And then I had to teach him how to talk to his employees. And then I got in there and I really worked with the management so that they could work with the employees. So he's set to break $1 million this year.
Wow.
Nice.
In donuts and coffee because he fixed his customer service. But it's not, so there's this whole group of people that have never worked in a customer service situation. Veterans have never worked in a customer service situation. Most business folks, like corporate people, they don't work in a day-to-day. And that's what I do. Like, I love that. I come from a military family. My daddy was Navy, my brother's Army, my mama was Navy. Like, literally, you throw a rock, somebody in a uniform is going to get hit.
Right.
Yeah.
I love showing veterans that they can use their training plus customer service and make so much money.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So go ahead.
What do you see, like, when you just talk about the cop owning a donut store? How long does that process take to break that character? Because if they're in the military, they're police, they're trained to do that. How long does it take to break that character?
It really depends on the individual.
Right.
This gentleman had been a cop for 40 years. So we actually we turned it into a game. And anytime he started to cop out, one of his managers would shoot him with a rubber band. It was great.
There you go.
It worked.
Yeah.
And, he's doing great.
When do you implement this? So your new startup, is it employee number 1? Is it employee number 2?
The minute you are ready to open your doors, you start building out your customer service policy.
Right.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I already have people who come to me and say, this wasn't quite right. Or I don't understand this. So I have to be my own customer service. Like, you have to vet all of the guests that come in here. That's a customer service.
Right.
I'm sure you've had to tell people, you don't quite fit. And that's uncomfortable, isn't it?
Well, we kind of take everybody.
Yeah,
at this
we
point.
do.
Haven't really had anybody.
Especially like scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, that's the only
really
hey, we can't do it today. We can do it tomorrow kind of thing. But
definitely.
So, we haven't told anybody no yet. We're pretty easy going. But so is most of your business, or most of the people who come to you and hire you for this issue, are they doing it preemptively or after the problem has already occurred, where they've already noticed and, hey, customers are not coming back, or they're mad a lot, or I got a bad review on Google, which it's that one. Yeah.
Most of them are after. But if I can just convince people to start this way,
right,
then they won't have to come and get me later.
Prevent a fire before you have to put it out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And okay, look, if you own a shop, if you have a Shopify, if you are selling items anywhere, free advice: put your return and exchange policy in as many places as you possibly can. If it can pop up on checkout, that's great. If you can paint it on the ceiling when people look up, that's fine. It's not underwear. Don't hide it. It will solve so many problems, and people can choose. They can say, oh, well, they don't do refunds. They only do exchanges. Then they have the option of not shopping with you.
Right.
Or when they know that they can't get their money back, they can't yell at you because your policy was everywhere.
You writing this down?
Yeah. I got it in the window right now already. Okay. No exchanges,
cool.
No refunds, none of that. Yeah, we got all that.
No shirt, no shoes, no silver. Yeah.
So we made it out there so everybody knows our policy before they walk in the door.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you put it right up next to the cash register so they can see it again. So pre-COVID, it took between 7 and 14 times for someone to see something,
right,
for it to set in their head. Post-COVID, we're looking at upwards of 40 times.
Yeah.
Is that because they're not, what do you mean? Explain that a little bit more to me. Like a sign in your business because they're not coming in there as much anymore?
No, just to get people's recognition.
Okay.
It can be anything. It can be.
So we've gotten dumber.
No, our attention span has gotten smaller because
for sure.
we've had so much exposure and we've pulled in so much media because we were out fishing, but other people were trapped in their house.
Right.
Okay. I don't fish. I sit in the boat and read a book.
That's close enough.
That's good
But
enough.
my husband reads.
At least you're
My
out
husband fishes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is it? So again, people can tag you or reach you through the Facebook page, right? That's a good way to get in touch with you.
They can reach me through Facebook. They can. I am on LinkedIn under my name, so it's Brooke Mitchke-Downs. They can tag me on LinkedIn. They can direct message me. They can join my Facebook group. They can, if you see me in Walmart,
talk to you.
Yell at her.
Right?
What's going on in that
Yeah.
Facebook group? Are you giving out tidbits of information
Yes.
there? Are we doing like a little kind of like sample inside of that?
So my Facebook group, I give tips on Tuesday and I go live on crazy weird topics. I have a couple of freebies in there about things you should and shouldn't be saying.
For sure.
I've got one in there about active listening. Most people don't realize it is an art.
What'd you say? No.
I dozed off for
I
a
got it.
second.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Active listening.
Yeah, active listening.
Right?
That's good though. That's a great forum. Facebook groups are a perfect place to like let
Facebook
people
group is
get
great.
outside of seeing this interview, get to know you a little bit, see what you offer. It's probably more specific than what we get into here, and kind of get a taste of what you offer before they hire you, right?
Right. And I mean, there's no charge to say, hey, can you look at my business? I have no problem looking at your business. I have no problem saying, hey, set up your camera. Let me check it out. Ignore my toddler running around in the background. I want to do that for as many people as I can.
When you say set up the camera, what does that mean? They put a camera in their business, or is it a Zoom call?
Normally it's a Zoom call, but most of the time I just have them turn their laptop around and join a Zoom meeting. And then I just watch what's going on.
Okay.
And then they're conducting business and then you're checking on how they're doing it.
And you would be amazed the things that I noticed that they don't.
Yeah, because you're in the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
And people, people forget that that's there and they just go on about their life. But then I also have people who come to me and they don't want me to go directly in first, like preemptively and, sneak around, become some sort of super secret customer service spy.
Right.
They want to talk to me and they want to tell me what's wrong with their business. And I think that's kind of cute. But
you never admit your own faults. Yeah, you're never going to tell you what's actually wrong.
If they
with
saw
it.
what was wrong, they probably wouldn't need to hire you to begin with. They wouldn't be having the problems that they're having, right?
most people actually see what's wrong. They just don't have a clue what to do with it.
Oh,
I mean, I can tell you I have a flat tire, but
Right.
changing it is not my job.
Yeah, there you go.
Better call somebody.
My daddy or my husband.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the businesses? You mentioned the cop with the donut shop. Can you tell us some businesses that you either have worked with or that you are working with without, you don't have to name them specifically if you can't.
So I love him to death. I call him Donut Cop and he hates it, but
Yeah.
I don't care. So I've helped him. I'm currently working with a media company. They are they do websites and things, but they do it's more foreign websites. Like they deal with people outside the U.S.
Okay.
And then I'm working with a VA group, virtual assistants. So I'm actually training their virtual assistants who live in the Philippines to work with American customers. And people are like, oh, well, why would you hire outside the US?
Well, that's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford a United States VA right now. And I don't see the problem helping some mom in the Philippines, jump up in the world and
Yeah.
have a better life.
Absolutely.
But I'm weird.
But it can, and correct me if I'm wrong, it can create some pushback for your customers if they can't either understand what the person's saying, or if that person, sometimes when they're not, whether they're 3 states over or in a different country, it makes it harder sometimes to resolve the issue, it feels like,
It
right?
can. And that has a lot to do with how the company has things set up.
Right.
So when you call AT&T, those poor kids are on a script.
Yes.
Okay. They are not allowed to deviate from that script in any way, shape, or form. Okay. They will get written up If they get 3 write-ups, they're done.
Okay.
So juxtapose that to Apple. They're not on a script. The only time they have to maintain a script is when they are walking you through how to fix whatever it is you're fixing.
And that comes from technical support. They just walk them down, right?
And they have to use, like, they have to go word for
Step by
word
step.
from that. But when you call them, they get to be themselves. They get to breathe.
Yeah,
and so it really
feels normal.
And the difference is these group of individuals who are outside of our country. Now, Apple doesn't outsource, but these AT&T people,
I didn't know that either.
yeah, if you call somebody for Apple and they got an accent, they're here.
Yeah. Okay.
But so these people, they're not allowed to deviate. And because they're not allowed to deviate, it makes it very frustrating when you ask a question they can't answer. And they can't answer it yet because it's not that part of the script. So there are other groups that do outsource, but they use a guide. And guides are amazing. I do that too.
You create those things for businesses.
I create guides. I help create policy. I help, like, I don't build websites, but I can look at a website and say, this wording is tricky because, or this is going to lead to this issue.
It's just a puzzle. You make cheat sheets to figure out the puzzle.
It is. I'm basically, what was that thing that plugged into Sega? The shark that gave you the unlimited lives. That's basically what I'm doing for your business.
Sweet.
Nice.
So how bad did COVID change the game of customer service in your eyes?
Oh my God. Okay. Because of COVID, if you have cruddy customer service, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
People have so many options now to buy things online, to not go into a store, to not deal with a local person, that if you can't up your customer service game and create those loyal customers who then bring in their friends, who then up your revenue, you're not going to make it. You're going to join the struggle bus, and then it's going to wreck and catch fire.
Yeah.
Especially like a small business. I mean, you can just go to Amazon and get it for $5 less, or I can hang out at my local store and get it and hang out, have a good time.
Right. And you meet those people and you create those
relationships.
It's all about actual relationships. But if you aren't being strategic about it, you slide from business customer to friend, and then they expect discounts and freebie. How many people have asked y'all for free hats?
A ton.
I mean,
half 100.
I feel a little naked without one, but
yeah, no. And it, I mean, a good customer experience is way better than a commercial. It's way better than any type of billboard ad. I mean, when word of mouth, like if you tell me, hey, this business, I'm looking to buy a cake, and you're like, oh, I had a great experience with such and such company, the chances of me using that company are extremely high if you and I know each other, because I'm like, well, she already used them, so it's going to be good for me.
I trust her.
And equally the same as if you say they are not very good to work with, I highly do not recommend. I'm not calling them. Period. I don't care what your website looks like. I don't care how many times I see you on the 4:00 show on WLX or something, right? I'm not going to use you. I'm just not. It's not happening.
But there's also gold in a negative comment. When people give you a negative review, if you know how to go in there, like your Twitter comment.
Yes.
They immediately responded.
They did.
And you were like, oh, well, I don't have to go find where they live and beat up their car with a ball bat.
That's
now
right.
I got to fix it.
Right.
Right.
I didn't like that I had to do that, but and what I felt like, oh, this is good. You could probably touch on this. I felt like once I did that and they responded, I was actually speaking to PayPal, not the outsourced people who, like you said, and they even told me that, one of the guys, when I called him on the phone, he's like, if you don't have access to the email anymore and the account, there's nothing else that I can do. Right. Now, he didn't say, hey, get in touch with PayPal directly by tagging them on Twitter. I just got lucky. Exactly.
They'll never be, they will never tell you that.
Exactly.
That would be like somebody saying, oh, just call the president. No.
Right.
So they'll get fired. But yes. So with PayPal, if you don't have those things, those poor kids, they can't do anything.
He couldn't do anything.
He's at the end of a script. He can't do anything else.
Yep. And then there are certain rules for security. When it comes to your Apple ID, there's certain things that certain people can do, but they can't fix anything to do with your Apple ID in chat, and they can't fix anything to do with your Apple ID in an email. I mean, unless you're getting a refund for something, everything has to go with your Apple ID over the phone because they have to verify you. And there's like 100,000 steps to do that. And
Yes.
it feels crazy, but it's for security. So I encourage people to be a little generous to those poor kids stuck on the phone. I have been one of those people. I have worked for several of those types of places, and some are better than others. Like I worked at one call center where I was allowed to go to the bathroom twice a day, twice. And I started at
Sounds like
8
a prison.
It was
Yeah.
awful. I lived in a cube. I had this little headset that made my ear hurt. And right before I got a person, there was like this horrific shrieky beep that said, you're going to get somebody. And, I was talking to 200-300 people a day.
Wow.
And, you just kind of have to give them some grace, right? We'd want grace.
Yeah.
And just as mad as you are, think about the person who's madder and think about how many Richards they deal with in a day.
Yeah,
Right.
and getting pissed off, or especially if you cuss or yell, you're not getting what you
No.
need. That's just going to shut it down.
But and that what you mentioned earlier, the company that we deal with, those people are real life people that actually work there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a small
And that's,
shop.
that's what I wanted to ask about that. Like the automated companies that, like, if you go to any big business and it's just a generic, hey, I'm here to chat, blah, 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 blah. How much does that really get back to solving your problem?
It really just depends on whether the person who's saying it is engaged or not.
Well, I think
Right.
he's talking about bots.
Right.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
like
That's what I'm
chatbots.
trying to say.
And
Like,
Okay.
Chatbots are designed, correct me if I'm wrong, to kind of filter out the
Yes.
easy stuff so that
Right.
the actual person doesn't have to do that. Maybe they
Yes.
can, boom, 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 and okay, it was that, and then you get you out
Yeah.
of there, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah. So bots are made to shove off the minnows from
Yes.
the bass.
Right.
Like, go away. It's to get rid of all the trash fish.
Yeah.
So that you're
Easily
only,
solve problems
right.
versus your
so
big
that they're
problem.
only taking up the time to fix things that are bigger. And it may not seem, small to you,
Right.
but in the hierarchy of issue,
yeah. But to me, it's just like we were talking about earlier. The robots just drive me up a wall. Like at Walmart, when I got to do the self checkout, I won't do it. I decline, and it that almost seems like it's killing customer service to me. The bots and the self checkout and everything like that.
so even the big blue giant has realized that self checkout is maybe not the best idea they ever had.
And
Now drive up pickup is
booming,
brilliant.
right?
Like I love that. Please God, don't make me go in this
Yeah.
store.
And that goes like, thank you, Amazon, right? Walmart wasn't going to do that.
Nope.
They had to do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
They had to
keep up.
adapt or
Yep.
die. I mean, that wasn't like they just said, it'd be cool as if we started walking it out to the, they could have thought of that years ago. They probably
Right.
did. Somebody did.
COVID.
And they're like, no, well,
COVID.
that
They had to have
was
something to do with
that
It
was
they weren't gonna. They had kind of rolled it out, but they weren't emphasizing it.
right.
It was like one of those, shh, only super secret Walmart customers know this, and you had to buy Walmart Plus.
Okay.
And then
Ah.
COVID hit, and they were like,
Oh yeah.
Never mind. Everybody can get it.
"Well, crap.
Yeah,
What
nobody's
do we
in
do
here.
now?
Right.
Yeah.
what do we
what's-
do now?"
Amazon in certain cities is doing like 1 hour delivery on food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
They
Whole
fly a
Foods and
drone
stuff.
over and just
Yeah.
drop it off in your front
Yeah.
yard.
Even Domino's is about to start. They're saying using the drone.
Oh, with the
through TV.
robot car. I saw that
That's
the other
crazy.
day.
Right?
It's
That's
crazy.
just insane.
So,
My husband wants a flying car. I want Rosie.
yeah. Yes, the Jetsons
What-
reference. I love that.
I guess that's my next one. Where do you see customer service going in the future with all these robotics? With
So-
everything in it.
Honestly, as weird and counterintuitive as this is, customer service is going to come back to being people.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have so much automated. We're going to have so much to deal with, computers and AI and it really will it'll come back and benefit the people who can do it in person.
Yeah. You always want to talk to someone versus something. I think it's going to be a blend of automation always,
Yeah.
because sometimes
that's
that
not
actually
going
is
away.
better because it's
Yeah.
quicker and blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But as long as you
But-
have that, hey, this isn't working. I need to speak
Yeah.
to Sally.
human.
Get me to Sally, please.
Give me a
You
human.
know?
Mine is for the like my grandma and grandpa. Like if my grandma calls and it's a robot, she hangs up automatically.
Yeah.
Boom. Now
Yeah.
if it's a person, she'll go through it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And they need a little bit more help than we
Yeah,
can.
businesses have to deal with that too. They have to deal
Right.
with the age spectrum, right?
And the sad thing is the bots don't deal with the age spectrum.
No,
Right.
no, they don't.
So
Or if you're a business who is only set up to handle customer service issues through the internet, and you got a demographic of your audience or your customer base is not on the internet,
Right.
there you goes your problem, right?
Exactly. And I help with that too. I had a business and they're just like, well, all they have to do is click a button. And I said, most of your clients are 75.
Right.
They ain't got no interwebs.
Yeah.
They don't care about your button.
Yeah.
Right.
They want to open a phone book.
Yeah.
So I actually made them put themselves in the yellow pages and get a landline.
Well,
Sweet.
that's cool. I mean, that's great to show that even in 2021, everything's going digital web, but certain businesses still need to have that base covered, right?
Well, you got to attack all fronts.
That's
for
correct.
Sure.
Let's do like a quick, okay, so I'm a local business here. I am brick and mortar retail. I've got three employees and I'm already open for business. What is like the top three hot take things you can tell me that I either should already be doing, or maybe I need to look at?
The freebies.
And
Don't
make
give
sure-
out all your secrets.
Yeah, don't give the good ones. Give that free taste.
So I'll give some of the ones that I normally give, and I do get a lot of flack for this one. So if you get a lot of icky, gross comments on it, I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
Stop just asking for email. So I'm not saying not to have your email funnel. Please don't come for me, funnel lovers. But if you open it up and you say, how do you want to be contacted?
Okay, that's a
Like,
good one. That's a good
How,
one.
how amazing would it be to know you can call Josephine and tell her about the sales, or
Everybody
you
loves
can
options.
direct message Amber. So most people don't realize this, but I mean, okay, everybody realizes it. No one's talking about it.
Okay.
Most people in the Western world carry 5 email addresses. They carry their personal email address. They carry a business email address. They carry an email address that they use to get all the freebie things off of Facebook.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They carry the email address that they say out loud in places like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right.
And then there's that weird email address that you had in college, you haven't looked at for 400 years, but it's still there.
Right.
Right.
If you're giving them another option, then they're telling you it's okay. And you've gained permission to talk to them in a way that makes them feel heard. And
Well, and how many people either does your email go to their spam, or they don't respond
Right.
or open it anyway because we're getting bombarded with
Exactly.
emails all day long anyway. I know text messaging is an app or a platform or a way of communicating that is having a lot better results when it comes to selling products or
It's so much
or
easier.
communicating with your customer just
and
in general.
now there's automation for it.
Right.
So
Right.
now we're all fixing to get spammed 450,000 times
Well-
a day for things.
Well, you can hopefully opt out of it, right?
You
Certain
can.
states have certain rules, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And if I tell you that I'm okay with you text messaging me because I like your business or I like your product, I'm great with that. Like,
Right.
like for
Exactly.
me, targeted ads on Facebook, people complain about they know too much about you and all. Dude, I'm getting like guitar ads all the time from Sweetwater and stuff that I like to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see some random cereal commercial. Like, target me. That's fine. It's
Yeah.
more fun for
I
Give
me.
me
mean-
20% off
yeah,
coupons.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Right?
Yeah, make it hard for me not to buy
Yeah.
something.
I just got a targeted ad for drumsticks because
You looked up something that was music related.
I bought my 2-year-old a drum set.
No, that was
Holy
smart.
moly. That was somebody else's gift they're supposed
Yep.
to buy for you.
Yep.
No, we're a musical family. My
Okay.
husband plays anything with a string.
I'm down with it.
So ask for what type of method of communication
Ask-
that they want.
Ask
Your
how they
customer
want to be
wants.
contacted.
Okay.
It will be more work for you, but I promise it will be worth it.
Let me stop you real quick. Can you help direct people to how to build those systems out
Yes.
inside of their website or
Yes.
do it? Okay, perfect. Because I'm sure if I'm sitting back, I'm listening, I'm like, well, that's fun, but I don't know how to do that. Right?
Yeah.
You can send them to the
I
right
just-
program or the
I
right
just
person.
teach them to make a Google Doc.
Okay, and put it on their website.
You don't even have to put it on your website. You just get your Google Doc, and
Yep.
when you go to send out your text messages, you literally just copy all the numbers and drop them in the program.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. Perfect.
Right?
All right. So that's
Kind
number
of
one.
amazing.
What's number two? Tell us
So
number two.
the number 2 is stop saying I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird. I know we're Southern, right?
Right.
But unless you have physically run over your customer with a car,
That could happen.
right? Apologize for that. But when they walk in and they say something isn't right, quit saying you're sorry because they don't care.
Okay. What do you
Right.
say?
Does that go back to the customer's always right?
No,
No.
the customer is not always right, but they are always your customer.
There you go. Okay.
So
So what do we say? If it's not, I'm sorry. What do you say?
the first thing you say is something empathetic. You say like, oh, I would be really upset if I deleted all my photos too. I'm here to help you. What have you done so far? Like that is a whole big thing. That is having empathy. that is the alignment statement where you agree with what they're doing and what they have said to you. And then that is the path forward. That is like my method in a nutshell. Like there's other tricks and things and like glitter and stuff, but that's basically what I do. So you want to be empathetic to them. You want them to know that you're human too.
Right.
And I'm sorry usually just makes them angrier. They don't want you to be sorry. They want you to solve it.
Okay. All right.
What else do I have?
And what's the third one? Give us something sweet here that
So
we
I
can
guess
take away.
the first thing is stopping when you come in customer service, your brain's usually on fire, and getting those people to stop and think, hey, calm down. This is what we're going to do. How can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. And this is what we're going to do about it.
Got to
It's
stop
main
the
thing.
mental scroll.
Yeah.
Right.
What's one other really good thing?
Something simple. I know you got something over there. We've talked about how to contact them on the website. Well, you kind of already mentioned it earlier about policies and procedures, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
that's
hide it. Don't hide it. Put that stuff everywhere.
Okay.
If you
on
have
your
to-
website, in your store.
On your website, in your store, by your cash register. I even have a customer who made a bumper sticker for his lawn care business with his policy on it.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, and that's twofold, right? That's one, like you're saying, stuff that the customer needs to see, where it's like your return policy and whatnot. But then also, I'm assuming is there a folder somewhere in the back that's for the employees, right?
Yes,
With those
yes.
policies and procedures
And
already.
if it's there, then they can go, well, I understand that you would love to return the shoes that you wore to the prom. We don't take returns.
Yep. It's right here on the side.
Here it is.
I mean, yes, sometimes it'll escalate, but a lot of the times people won't even push it because they know
It's written
up
out
front.
Right.
They won't attempt. Now, there are people who are going to attempt to
Oh, yeah.
return the prom dress. It's just going to happen, but I equip people for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, let's, where do we need to send people that they've been listening, they're into this, and they're like, holy crap, maybe I need to invest a little bit of this into my business. Where is the best place for them to contact you? Right. That's tip number one, actually.
Right.
The best place. How you do
The
it?
best place to reach me right now is definitely Facebook. I'm very active. You can either find Brooke Mitchke-Downs and DM me or join my group. I do have a webpage that's launching at the end of the month, and I will throw that out for the whole world to see. Probably come back here and tag it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What's the group again?
Well, I have it right here on the screen. It's
Yeah.
been at the bottom the entire time. Real Life Customer Service Strategies
Yes.
is the Facebook page. So
Yes.
you type that in if you're looking. I think that's probably the easiest way for people listening to this, being that this is already on Facebook, and YouTube and Twitter.
And
as well,
I'm
but-
still pending, so I can't get in yet. But after the show,
I'll
gotta
let
get
you
in.
in, I
Okay.
promise. I
Um,
promise.
But yeah, so people, and especially you audio listeners right now who can't see the screen, that's Real Life Customer Service Strategies. It's Brooke you're looking for. Go in there, like the page, join the group, and start a conversation. If you're a local business or a small business owner, whatever, see if she can help you out. Right?
It's absolutely free to talk to me.
There
and
you go.
I promise I will try not to take more than 30 minutes of your life.
Perfect. Well, Brooke, thank you so much for stopping
Yeah,
by
it was
today.
awesome.
Thanks for the brownies.
Yeah,
also.
she brought
us
brownies. She
man.
did.
So what kind of customer
Yeah.
service is that?
Everybody else that's going to be on the show from here on out better
Yeah.
step it
There
up.
hasn't been one charter boat captain that's
Not
brought
a
us brownies
single
yet.
one.
Not one. We
I'm
appreciate
a good
it.
Southern girl. My mama says you don't show up to people's houses empty-handed.
Well, we appreciate
We're going to
that.
smash those brownies too.
So glad you reached out, and thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking the time out of your day, and I hope some people hit you up for that, because
Thank
it's
you.
an important topic for sure.
Thank you for having me. And you want to talk more customer service, come back.
We can do it. We
Absolutely.
can do it. And check those comments below. She'll tag some of the stuff so you can see it. Thanks everybody for tuning in on the live stream and on the
Yep.
replays, and for listening to the audio as well. We will see you on the next one.